I've been the one in contact with all of you throughout the last year. I've been on site here in Los Angeles since September of 2021. So really excited to get this championship running, and really excited for everybody to get here on site. First and foremost, we want to just start off by saying thank you. You guys are the backbone of our championship. We cannot do this without you. It's something that we really cherish, that every one of you gives your time and effort to our championship, and something that we really thoroughly enjoy. To have volunteers and the dedication that you guys have is something that is really special, and we really enjoy every aspect of it. For those people that haven't volunteered for the United States Golf Association, I just want to give a little background on who we are as an organization and kind of what we stand for. So our mission is to champion and advance the game of golf. It's one of our foremost things when it comes to the USGA. I know that the United States Golf Association stands for USGA, but we use that acronym in a different way also. We like to say that we unify the game. Anybody can be able to be eligible to play the game and really want to be as open and transparent as possible with people. We showcase the best players from having 10,000 people sign up to try to qualify for the U.S. Open this year. And it will come down to one person hosting that U.S. Open trophy. It's something really special. We govern the game. We're the rules of the game. We with the R&A have put up the rules, and then we advance. We try to make sure that we are leaving the game better than what we found it. One initiative is trying to conserve water. I know out here in California, this winter didn't really help. We did have a lot of rain, but in the past there is a drought, and we want to make sure that we're being as environmental friendly when it comes down to it, and the USGA wants to be at the foreground when it comes down to it. I know some of our friends here have volunteered for the Genesis and the 2 LPGA Tour events that are in Los Angeles, but as the USGA, just to kind of give you a little bit of a landscape of who we are compared to the other organizations that govern golf and have different majors throughout the USGA will host about 15 different championships this year, 5 being open championships with the men's, women's, the senior opens, senior women's, and then the adaptive open, which is our newest championship and something we're very proud of. I'll go through into a little more detail into that, but just to kind of give you the landscape of the industry and how we differentiate between the LPGA, Augusta, the PGA, and the R&A. One thing to also note is, like I said, we host multiple different championships. Besides the U.S. Open, it's one of ours that is most coveted, but the Women's Open is going to be at Pebble Beach this year. What a fantastic venue that could possibly be for the women's game. And then right down the road, we also are hosting the Women's Amateur at Bel Air Country Club. So something very cool that we're able to have 2 championships in the same city this year, which would be really special. And then one that one that's close to my heart is the Adaptive Open. It's something that the USGA, and something that I'm very proud of as a USGA employee, is being able to have these individuals that have different disabilities being able to be part of the USGA landscape and really champion and try to win a championship. It's one thing that the USGA is really pushing forward, and I think being a leader in the industry and being able to advance the game of golf through the Adaptive Open. Just to go into some of the U.S. Open facts for this year, we, not like the Genesis, we do not have any practice round. We don't have any pro-ams for the championship. We are strictly practice rounds on Monday through Wednesday, and then our championship rounds Thursday through Sunday. We expect about 22,000 people out here per day. That includes the practice rounds. We do expect them and many people out here. And then our broadcast partner is NBC. We have 75 hours of coverage, 95 million viewers, and in 190 different countries, which is really, truly remarkable how many people will be able to see this championship. Our championship sites, I just like to spotlight it. Last year's champion being Matt Fitzpatrick at the Country Club. But the last time the USGA was hosting a U.S. Open in California was at Torrey Pines, and then Pebble Beach, where the Women's Open is this year. But something to also spotlight, we haven't even hosted the U.S. Open here yet, and we're already intending to come back to Los Angeles. We already know that this is going to be a great area for the U.S. Open, and this golf course especially will be a great championship site. So they have already announced the 2032 Women's and the 2039 Men's Open will be returning to Los Angeles, which is really exciting that we already have that on the docket. So a little bit about Los Angeles Country Club. It has that allure of it's a great golf course, and we're really excited for it to be able to host the U.S. Open for the first time. It's not the only time the LACC has hosted a USGA championship. They've hosted the 1930 and the 1954 Women's Amateur, and then the Junior Amateur, and then most recently the 2017 Walker Cup. You'll definitely see some familiar faces in that picture of Maverick McNeely, Will Zalatoris, Scotty Scheffler, Colin Morikawa. Those guys are going to be playing in the U.S. Open, which is something really spectacular that from their amateur game in 2017, they're already going to be trying to win a championship in the upcoming months or upcoming weeks. And then the one other thing I want to note is it's the 75th anniversary since the USGA hosted the U.S. Open within Los Angeles. The first and only one that was held before was at Riviera Country Club, and Ben Hogan won his first of 4. So crossing my fingers that we got a great champion just like that also, that will be able to really space the game out and be able to go on a run for multiple years. The USGA also has this huge initiative now of trying to leave a legacy at each of our U.S. Open sites. One thing that we want to, I want to spotlight for you, if you haven't seen a press release about this, is Maggie Hathaway Golf Course. The USGA is going to donate $1 million to this golf course, to the restoration in partnership with LACC, SCGA, and the USGA to be to grow the game throughout the Los Angeles community. And it's something really special that as a USGA employee, I'm proud of, to be able to spotlight that my company is also helping grow the game throughout our different neighborhoods that we're making an impact into with the U.S. Open. So to go into a little more detail, I want to just meet the team. Obviously me, I'm from Lynbrook, New York. I'm the championship coordinator. My right hand through the week of the championship is going to be Lena Campbell. She is based out of Pinehurst, North Carolina. She did the Country Club last year's volunteer program, and then she also will be working on the 2024 U.S. Open. Some of these names that you might be seeing in the inbox when you're getting a response about your schedule or different questions that you have, but Nora, Mackenzie, and Dana have been excellent so far and are going to be your assets throughout the week of the championship to be able to answer any questions that you have and be able to really help you in any way possible. So what's the role of a volunteer? You're really an ambassador for the USGA, LACC, and the state of California. It's something that we don't take lightly, that we understand that you are representing us as an organization, but also at the same time, you're representing these multiple different things as a volunteer for the championship. Just to go over some general volunteer information, we have 3,100 volunteers on 16 different committees. We do have 16 international countries represented and 45 different states. Something really special about the U.S. Open is we really bring people from all around the country, all around the world to come volunteer for this program. And then 72% are from California, which is great also, the fact that we're keeping some people local too. And really, I understand the city of Los Angeles and the people that live in the city are really excited about a championship and excited for it to be here in their hometown. Just to show you where our volunteer village will be, it'll be right across the bridge. You'll hear me reference the bridge later on in this presentation. That's what it looks like right now. It's already built, looking beautiful, right on off of hole number 1. We'll actually have a view of golf from our volunteer hospitality, which is really unheard of from a USGA volunteer standpoint, but really excited for this opportunity that volunteers can be able to relax in that hospitality space and be able to enjoy their lunch and be able to watch some golf in an air-conditioned unit. So something really, really special about it. To go into a little more detail about our volunteer hospitality and headquarters area, you're only get access to it on the days that you're shifted to volunteer. So the way we indicate that you're volunteering is you're wearing that volunteer apparel. We also have complimentary breakfast and snacks beginning on June 12th, running through the week of the championship. We'll have some volunteer raffles. But really, this is a space for you to enjoy and be able to relax in between shifts or before your shift if you really want to. Each day, you'll receive a lunch voucher. So inside your credential packet, which we'll get into a little more detail a little further into the presentation, but you'll get 4 lunch vouchers in your credential packet. You'll get 1 for each day you're shifted to volunteer. Now, if you're a super volunteer and you're decided to volunteer more than 4 shifts, we will gladly give you an additional volunteer lunch vouchers for the additional days that you're volunteering. So just to give you some spotlights on those different locations of the Fan Central, 3rd Fairway, 8 and 11 Fairway, and 7 and 13 Fairway. That's where those lunch vouchers will be able to be redeemed. On the back side of those lunch vouchers, it gives you the different options that you'll be able to have. And then also those locations will be listed there. Oh, whoops. Jumped all the way to the end of the presentation there, aren't we? Second. Please hold. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. So you might have already received your volunteer apparel. I just want to show you what it looks like, our Marshal and our General volunteer apparel. Great looking apparel from Peter Millar, being our official outfitter for this year's championship. If you have not received that apparel yet, please make sure you send us an email in our inbox at the 2023 US Open at usga.org, and we'll be able to make sure that we track down that package for you. And if not, if it didn't get shipped to you, we'll make sure that we have it on site for you when you arrive on site for the championship. So that volunteer apparel, we're making sure we're wearing that on the days that we are shifted to volunteer. On the days you're just coming as a fan, let's make sure that we're not wearing that volunteer apparel. We want to make sure that we're differentiating ourselves. We want to make sure you're wearing comfortable shoes, no metal spikes out there, no reason to wear you can wear golf shoes if they have that soft spike on the bottom, but we want to make sure that you're comfortable as much as possible. We prefer khaki pants or khaki shorts, either or for you to wear for the championship, but understand that if you don't have khaki, we completely understand. So going into that volunteer credential policy, for your volunteer credential, they're not transferable. Everybody will have a picture on that credential that has their name and what committee they're assigned to, and then their access codes on the left. If you lose your credential, please make sure you reach out to our inbox and make sure that you tell us that you've lost your credential. We will make sure that we get a replacement and turn the other one off. The best thing about the volunteer package is the fact that you get a credential that's valid all 7 days of the championship. So on those days that you are not shifted to volunteer, you're more than welcome to come and enjoy the championship as a fan while you're here. Talking about credentials, credential distribution. So if you live within a 75-mile radius of LACC, we will be having a credential distribution on May 20th and 21st at Marymount High School. Marymount High School. I know the letter in your apparel packages might have said Loyola Marymount University, but we are doing it at Marymount High School. You will also be able to exchange your volunteer apparel there. So if any sizes do not fit at the time, you will be able to exchange your apparel there also. If you are unable to attend those 2 sessions on May 20th and 21st, we will host the same sessions on June 10th and 11th, the weekend before the championship at LACC. So you will park on the south course, you'll walk up the hill or walk up one of the fairways, enter the gates, and you'll be able to go to the merchandise tent and be able to exchange that apparel. And then also the merchandise check tent is where we will be with your credentials for distribution. So we will give more information when it comes to for June 10th and 11th. If somebody hasn't picked up their credential packet at that point, we'll make sure that we were giving you as much information as possible. For those or without the 75-mile radius, we will make sure that we are shipping those credential packets to you ahead of time. So after this week, after the May 20th and 21st, we would be shipping out all credential packets that are outside of that 75-mile radius. If you do not want the credential packet and you're moving or you're doing something along those lines, please email the 2023 inbox, and we will make sure that we hold that credential packet for you here on site so that it doesn't get lost ahead of time. So transportation options for the championship. All volunteers have been assigned a parking lot already. They are final just due to the limitations of what we have for our parking assignments. Shuttles will be running consistent throughout Monday through Sunday, starting at 5 a.m. We ask that you give at least 15 minutes to get to the championship grounds, and then your parking pass is valid for only the days that you're on site. So we will be in each of your credential packets, you will get a daily parking pass, either for UCLA parking structure 32, or you'll get it for the Beverly Center. All parking passes are per shift and per day, and there will be GPS directions on the back of the parking pass. Hang tags are required at each of these lots to make sure that we are able to get you into the site. Both parking passes will drop off at the same location. So you'll be dropped off on Wilshire Boulevard. You'll walk through security right there, enter gate 5 of the championship, and then you'll cross that bridge that will be across Wilshire Boulevard to enter the grounds. All the championship holes for the championship are above or are on the north side of the Wilshire Boulevard. So everybody will enter the same entrance, cross that bridge, and then you can hit volunteer before you go out to your volunteer assignment. On the days that you are not shifted to volunteer, more information to come on this next week. We'll send out an email for you to be able to purchase additional parking passes for the days that you want to come. Unfortunately, we do not have just a general parking lot this year. You will have to buy parking passes for those other days that you will want to come to the championship. So just more information to come on that. If you want to, you're more than, wrong. We will have rideshare and bicycle parking. So if you decide you want to take an Uber, Lyft, or a taxi to the championship, they will be directed to go to Beverly Hills High School. You'll walk across Santa Monica Boulevard, and you walk straight up the fairway right to gate 5, where the other location of that drop will be. So any rideshare will not be able to be picked up off of Wilshire Boulevard. You'll have to go all the way over to Beverly Hills High School to get picked up from there. And then if you would like to ride your bike to the championship, that is where we will have bike parking for the championship also. So public safety is one of the main priorities of the USGA when it comes to the US Open. We want to make sure all of our volunteers and fans are safe going into it. Los Angeles Police Department is our lead law enforcement agency, but we do have huge support from other agencies throughout the area. So Beverly Hills Police, LA Fire, the FBI, UCLA Health is our health provider, and then some EMS companies will also be helping us with our different ambulance needs for the championship. Like I said, UCLA Health is going to be our first aid provider for the championship. There'll be 3 locations scattered throughout the championship grounds. 1 in Fan Central, 1 players left of hole 3, and then 1 players left of 10-hole fairway. Each will be staffed with doctors and nurses from UCLA Health to make sure that we are all prepared for the championship. If you need anything, you can stop in one of those locations. Medical public safety scenario, we just want to make sure that we are, if there are any situations that arise while you're on the grounds of the championship, you're either using one of our radios, switching over to the public safety channel, or you're calling 911. All those calls will be rerouted back to the dispatch that's on site and be able to let the officers and the volunteers on site help us be able to get that call. We want to make sure we're as descriptive as possible when it comes to these medical calls. If you are saying you're next to a tree, next to a fairway, it's not going to help us. We want to make sure you know what hole you are. If you're next to a hospitality spot, you want to make sure that you're saying the specific location as much as possible so that we are able to help that individual. And then also there will be plenty of AEDs out there to be able to help any anybody who's having a heart attack or along those lines throughout the championship. Just general public safety reminders. We want to make sure that you're our eyes and ears out there for the week of the championship. We want to make sure that you're safe and everybody that's attending the championship is safe. If you see something that's suspicious, make sure you're saying something to a USGA staff or representative. We will make sure that we check it out no matter what, even if it's small. We want to make sure that everyone is having an enjoyable time and a safe time at the US Open. Just like if you're going to SoFi or Crypto.com, you are going to be security screened going into the championship. So you'll be walking through a magnetometer. You'll have to devest, and then you'll have to continue going through the for the grounds of the championship. Inside each of your credential packets will be a list of prohibited items. Just review that before coming to the championship. We don't want to make sure that we have to send you back to the parking lot to put something in your car. So just make sure that you are checking that prohibited items list before you enter the championship grounds. For communication about different things when it comes to the volunteer program, weather advisories, on your volunteer profile, there's a little checkbox that you'll be able to check that spotlights that you are able to accept text messages. If we want to send any messages about traffic advisories, weather alerts, you just go onto that profile, or you can just email us at the 2023 inbox, and we'll be able to check that box for you to make sure that you'll be notified when it comes down to it. For disability services, if you need an accessibility or lift-equipped transportation for the championship, please email the ticketing office at tickets@usga.org. They'll go ahead and send you a parking pass for the days that you're shifted to volunteer, and make sure that you are able to get your wheelchair through the championship, and they will drop you off right out front at the gate for the championship. We will also have a disability services committee on site that will be able to answer any questions when it comes to this and be able to assist any way possible. One thing that we do have is that we have a disability cart shuttle that is manned by volunteers. That will be able to take you throughout as a bus stop style throughout the grounds of the championship and drop you off at different areas of the grounds. We do have Pride Mobility scooters out there. They are on a first come, first served basis. There's no reservations allowed for it. You'll be able to pick them up at Gate 5 and Gate 10. Gate 5 location will be on the other side of the bridge, so right in front of the volunteer area. It will be a location for those Pride Mobility scooters. And then also at Gate 10, coming off of Holmby Park, will be another location for those disability scooters. Everyone's been telling me that it doesn't rain in California, and it's rained basically since January to March. So I still want to go over our weather warnings for the championship. The USGA is going to be the last call on that. We have a meteorologist on site that will be able to give us the exact reading of what's going to be happening. We will go through radio calls throughout the on our radios that will be dispatched throughout that give you exactly what the weather advisory, weather watch, weather warning is for the championship. So we will make sure that we are communicating that as much as possible through video boards and through the radio channels to make sure everybody is up to date and staying safe for the championship. Suspension of play, if that occurs, hopefully it does not. We will make sure that we are showing that with a long air horn and immediately take cover. Make sure the volunteers, we ask that you do not leave in the suspension. You can come to volunteer hospitality, bunker down there for a little bit, but we need to make sure that we are able to, if we do have a resumption, that we have our volunteers there to go back out onto the championship grounds. Hopefully there's no rain in June. Everyone tells me it doesn't rain in June, but we'll see what happens. One thing I just want to spotlight is our US Open app. This is the best way to get all your information about the USGA and the US Open. We will have tee times. We will have hole-by-hole scoring. Our information will be powered by ShotLink this year. So we'll have shot-by-shot analysis on there. And then we'll also have our full fan guide on there for the championship. So you'll be able to get all that information in one place rather than multiple different apps. Just some friendly reminders. I just want to make sure we're at the end of this presentation. You got to make sure you're telling us if there's any problems that out there on the ground. You're our eyes and ears, but we want to make sure that we are aware of them. Even if they're very small, we'll check them out. We ask that you don't get any autographs or take photos while you're volunteering. Just want to keep it professional. It is their job as much as it is our job to help us as a volunteer, but the pros out there, they're out there trying to make their wage. So we want to make sure that we're doing our job to make sure that they're having as much of an easy time out there. Volunteer apparel must be worn on the days that you're shifted to volunteer. And then obviously we ask that no alcohol beverages are consumed before or during your shift. You're more than welcome to consume after you're volunteering, but we ask that you hold that off till at least you're done volunteering for the day. With all that being said, we're only 34 days away from the championship, which is so crazy to think about. But please, if you have any questions or any concerns, please give us a call with that phone number, or just shoot us an email at 2023usopen@usga.org. Either Mackenzie, Nora, Dana, or I will answer your email and make sure that we are getting you all the information you possibly need for the championship. So thank you again for volunteering, and we look forward to seeing you all in June.